Welcome to a Harsh Realist broadcast on the 27th of November 2021. Opposite me is Wise William, who has a good handle on current affairs. Behind Wise William there is Sad Bob. Hey Sad Bob, give us a smile. Come on, it won't hurt. Ah well, one day maybe. To my right is Steve, the only guy I know that has the maximum prescription on a pair of rose-tinted glasses. To my left is VI. Behind me is Phil Stinton. He is our prepper. At the bar, we have Tracy, who, well, let's say it as it is, she is hammered. Our guest today is Cynical Sid, who is a straight talker, so if you are of a nervous disposition, you better switch off now. Okay, Cynical Sid, what do you think the future will look like?
Okay Tony, you may need to lie down for this, because the future is very bleak. Wise William has hit the nail on the head when he talks about fractional reserve banking. In a nutshell, there is too much personal and public debt. The politicians know the game is up, they see the bigger picture despite the public thinking they have not got a clue. We have had a situation where the politicians promise the earth to a fickle public. Well, the chickens have come home to roost. The situation prior to COVID was like Pinocchio going to Pleasure Island. He had a fantastic time playing pool, drinking and smoking cigars. However, after a period of time he grew large ears and a tail and then started to look like a donkey. He was then destined to work hard behind the scenes. There you go, you don't get something for nothing. Governments know this, and they tend to delay the day of reckoning. I have news for you, the day of reckoning has come. They have to manage the economic decline somehow, but they need to blame it on something else. They apply the Hegelian dialectic: problem, reaction, solution. Simply put, there is too much debt in the system, therefore they cause a reaction to deflect the root cause of the problem, and that is, blame it on COVID-19. The public become very fearful and, the solution, they accept the measures that cause the economy to shrink. The World Economic Forum do not hide the fact that they wish to meet the targets for their Agenda 2030. In a nutshell, the World Economic Forum want you to own nothing and be happy. Well, that's what they are trying to sell to us. But in reality, you will own nothing and be miserable. Like any sales pitch, the reality is very different.
Cynical Sid, I think you are wrong. I trust the government. They will look after us. They will never work against our interests. They have done a fantastic job in rolling out the vaccine program, and they have been very sensible locking us down for our own benefit. Must admit, I think they could have been stricter with face masks. I believe they should be worn outside all the time. These lockdowns are necessary even if it just saves the life of one person.
Steve, lockdowns are ineffective. Just look how well Sweden is doing. Also look at Florida in the US. The governor, Ron DeSantis, opened up Florida many months ago and there has been no rise in cases compared to the other states that have strict controls. Ron DeSantis is against the mandatory passports and the mandatory vaccinations. He actively welcomes people from other states to work in Florida. Let's do some critical thinking. Firstly, it is known that the death figures from COVID-19 have been exaggerated, because deaths have been recorded with someone having COVID-19, but have died of something else. Ask yourself why. If you have had the vaccines, surely that should protect you, so why force others to have it against their will? World governments have been completely over the top and they are in lockstep. It appears almost by design they are destroying the middle class and the economy. COVID is real. Is it causing massive deaths? No, so why don't governments quarantine the sick and free the healthy? The mainstream media rarely report on the protests, and if they do, they claim it is the far-right activists. It does not suit their agenda to give a balanced report. I fear if we do not resist the tyranny, our lives will be micromanaged by the government. Then the rich and powerful can do as they please to ensure we comply. We will end up with a social credit score, and if we do not comply with the narrative, the score will go down, which will ensure further restrictions on our freedom. Look at China, that could be our future. Do we really want that? If we don't act now, we will end up like the Chinese population, who are locked into a system where they cannot escape.
Thank you, Cynical Sid. Although it sounds frightening, you are at least providing some balance that is missing from the mainstream media.